In this video, we will be looking at problem 6.6 in your homework, where we're given a balance sheet of Bluth Incorporated, and we're being asked to prepare a pro forma balance sheet for 2016, which means we're going to forecast what's going to happen or predict what's going to happen next year based on some initial projections. So our initial projection is that after a net sales of $150 million in 2015, sales growth, or the increase in net sales, is expected to be 25%. And excuse me. And all current asset and current liability accounts will have the same percentage of sales as in 2015. So what that means is simply that if sales is going to grow at a 25% in 2016, then all current assets and current liability accounts are also going to be projected to grow at the same rate, 25%. And then we also are told that net fixed assets will remain the same dollar amount, and there is a 100% dividend payout ratio, and then we want to prepare a pro forma for 2016. So we want to look at, we just want to set this up where we have all our 2015 numbers, and then we want to project our 2016 numbers. So what's going to change is our current assets and our liabilities. So we can just scoot down to here and look at what we simply do is we multiply the dollar amounts for 2015 by 1.25, and we can just do that real quick. O times 1.25, and that's going to give us a 25% increase over here. And we do that for cash, accounts receivable, inventory, and prepaid expenses, and we do the same thing for our current liabilities, which are accounts payable, notes payable, and accrued expenses. And so we come up with our new figures for 2016, and we scroll down, and we get our totals here for total current assets right here, and our long-term debt's not going to change, and our common equity is not going to change because we have a 100% dividend payout. So these don't change, and it didn't say anything about more debt, so we're not going to change that. And then we scroll down from there. Now, when they say net fixed assets will remain the same, then we know that, of course, fixed assets aren't going to change. And why they're saying net is in order to get net fixed assets, we subtract whatever the accumulated depreciation is. And since the net fixed assets aren't going to change at all, then we're not going to change either our fixed assets or our accumulated depreciation. So that's not going to change, and we're going to end up with our new total asset figure here and our total liabilities and equity right here. Now, as you can see, they're not balanced. They're not equal. And if we go to the book, and because you might ask yourself, well, why not? Or is this normal? Well, if we go to our summary for chapter 6 right here, and let me see, this is on page, it's at the end, it's on page 126, and we can read right here, on the pro forma balance sheet, the forecasted values for total assets and total liabilities and equity rarely match. So when when your forecasted assets exceed forecasted liabilities and equity, the difference is called additional funds needed. And typically that's going to be more financing. We'll have to borrow some more money in order to support the projected asset growth. Now that's sort of the general summarized explanation in the book. But I do want to point out, when we go back to our problem that we have, we really don't consider we really aren't going to consider this as growth. These changing aren't really growth. Growth would be an increase in our fixed assets. However, we can still look at this and sort of think about why this wouldn't balance out and what we may want to do. One thing, we can see that we have an increase right here in our inventory, and this is cost. This is not, sell a price. This is just what it's going to cost to buy it, cost the company. So this might need to be financed over here in order for us to have this $5,000 increase in our inventory. We may want to, we may want to decide after seeing this that we don't want to have quite this much cash on hand. That would make this smaller, so that, it would start to balance out. But there's it would just depend a lot on what's actually going on in the company. But in general, if you're going to stick with this with these projections, you're going to have to figure out a way to pay for it over here, and typically that's with borrowing funds, in order to add to our liabilities, so that they will make up for this $6,375 amount that we would call additional funds needed. Okay, and the only other thing you want to have in here is you want to make sure that you calculate what the net sales are, and that's just simply a 25% increase from 150 million, which would bring net sales up to 187.5 million. And I think that pretty much does it for this problem. Okay.